So friends, today we will be studying about this external equalizing line in thermostatic expansion valve. So now first we should know what is the saturation temperature of a refrigerant. Now the saturation temperature is the temperature at which the refrigerant changes from liquid state to vapor. It is the boiling point of refrigerant. Now let us see first the functioning of a thermostatic expansion valve without any external equalizing line. Now here the saturated liquid is entering into the expansion valve. Now at this point there is a throttling effect going on. Because of the throttling, there is a drop in the saturation pressure. The pressure at which the liquid refrigerant is at its maximum temperature is called the saturation pressure. So at this saturation pressure there is now let us first see the working of a thermostatic expansion valve without any external equalizing line. So what happens here is there is a flow of refrigerant, saturated refrigerant, from the HP side to the LP side. Now this here actually what happens is that here throttling effect is happening, and because of that saturation temperature of the there is a drop in the pressure first. Because of that there is a drop in the saturation temperature of the saturated liquid refrigerant. Because of that some liquid will boil off at the expansion valve. Here some liquid will boil off, so it will take latent heat from remainder, and this will actually lead to vaporization of the some of the refrigerant. So this will actually bring the cooling effect. So earlier what was there? Here was liquid L. Now here L plus V is there, liquid plus vapor is there. Now here also L plus V is there, here also L plus V is there, L plus V is there, but here it is vapor because it is taking heat from the air which is flowing across this evaporator coil, and here also vapor is there. So after that we have only vapor. Now let us see. Now just for example we will take here the saturation pressure is 2.2 bar. Here saturation pressure at the inlet of the evaporator is 2.2 bar, and we are denoting it with PS0. Now after it passes through the coil, first coil, there is a drop in the pressure PS1 L plus V. After passing through the second coil, there is a drop in the saturation pressure, and the resultant now the saturation pressure is PS2. Here also it is in refrigerant is in the form of liquid plus vapor mixture. Now it will take more and more heat. So as it is passing across the coil, it is getting heated up, and at last we are having only vapor. So what happens is that saturation pressure here is PS3, and here saturation pressure it drops to PS4. Now just for example we are taking at PS1, at PS0 we had taken that at inlet of the evaporator the pressure was 2.2 bar. Now at point this PS1, here the saturation pressure was 2 bar, and at point PS2 here the saturation pressure was 1.7 bar. As we are seeing, the pressure is dropping because of the friction. Because of the friction there is a pressure drop. Pressure drop in that saturation pressure is dropping. Okay, now the saturation pressure PS4 here at the outlet of the evaporator, we are taking here and here PS4, as there is no bends or anything, so we are considering it same. So that PS4 saturation pressure at the outlet is 1.2 bar. Now PS0 and PS4, that is PS4 and PS0, the difference of the two saturation pressure should not be more than 0.3 bar. But here what we are getting this is 1.2 bar and this is 2.2 bar. So PS0 minus PS4, 2.2 minus the saturation pressure at the inlet minus the saturation pressure at the outlet is 2.2 minus 1.2 is 1 bar. So it should not be more than 0.3 bar, but it is 1 bar. So why we are getting so much big pressure difference? Because if we are having a larger coil, there will be pressure drop much more. As in the drawing I have shown only 3 to 4 coils, but actually we have in practical sense, if I speak, there are more number of coils, so there will be more pressure drop. At the outlet, at saturation pressure PS4, we have the temperature of the refrigerant as 10 degrees C, and corresponding to the saturation pressure at the inlet, that is PS0, we have the saturation temperature here is 7 degrees C. Now as we are seeing here, this is liquid plus vapor phase, and here only vapor phase is there. So friends, actually what is happening here is that's the temperature of the vapor at the outlet of the evaporator at saturation pressure PS4 is 10 degrees C. This is not the saturation temperature, it is the temperature of the refrigerant. Now saturation temperature is the temperature at which the liquid refrigerant will boil, or there will be a phase change, but here itself it is itself a vapor, and it is a superheated vapor. There will be no more phase change. So we are taking the final temperature of the refrigerant, that is superheated temperature, that is 10 degrees C. Now at the inlet, the saturation pressure is PS0. Corresponding to this saturation pressure, from the chart we will get the saturation temperature of the refrigerant, that is 7 degrees C. Now at that this is the saturation temperature, means at this temperature the refrigerant is going to at this temperature the refrigerant is going to boil off, and there will be a phase change. But the temperature of the refrigerant is 3 degrees C here. The temperature of the refrigerant is 3 degrees C here, and if any air or any if any air is there with a temperature of more than 7 degrees C, this will evaporate. This liquid plus vapor mixture will evaporate. That liquid will boil off, and it will get converted into vapor. Now here the degree of superheat will be what? The degree of superheat will be this PS4, the temperature 10 degrees C, minus the temperature of the refrigerant at the inlet, which is at a saturation pressure of PS0. Okay, now this minus this, that 10 degrees C minus 3 degrees C is what? We are getting 7 degrees C. Superheat, degree of superheat for the evaporator as how much? 10 minus 3 equal to 7 degrees C. Now this is not what we want. We want it to be 5 degrees C. Now let us see what will happen if it is 7 degrees C. See, if degree of superheat is more, if the refrigerant is more is having a high temperature, because of that the refrigerant in the bulb will expand, and that pressure will act on top of the diaphragm here, that P bulb will be acting over here. This will do what? This will lead to, this will be in excess of this spring pressure. Now what is this here? This spring is adjuster is actually to adjust the 5 degree of superheat. Our this 5 degree of superheat. Now one thing is there, we don't want degree of superheat more than 5. It should be up to 5, but here we are getting 7 degrees C. So what happens is that for a degree of superheat, that P bulb is more than the spring pressure what is acting over here. So this diaphragm will this pressure will push the diaphragm below, and this valve will get open more refrigerant will come into the evaporator. Also, I would like to mention here PS1 is less than PS2, and PS2 is less than PS3, and PS3 is less than PS4. That means as the refrigerant is flowing through the evaporator coil, there is a drop in the pressure at each bend, because larger the evaporator will be there, the larger pressure drop will be there, and we don't want pressure drop to be more than 0.3 bar, because if it is more than 0.3 bar, there will be high degree of superheat. So friends, as there will be if there will be a larger evaporator coil, then there will be large number of bends, and so there will be more friction losses, and because of that saturation pressure will also drop. So more saturation pressure drop means there will be drop in the saturation temperature of the refrigerant, means the boiling point of the phase change point of the refrigerant will also become low. So at a very low air temperature which will be passing across this refrigerant coil will, at a very low temperature of the air, this refrigerant will get evaporated. It will vaporize at a very low temperature, means it will get very high temperature. That means at a very low temperature of the air, this refrigerant this refrigerant which is now having a very low saturation temperature, means in other words, very low boiling point, will get heated up. It will take more and more heat because boiling point has got decreased. Okay, the saturation temperature has got decreased, so it will take more and more heat and become superheated. That's why we say that as the saturation pressure drops, the saturation temperature drops, means the boiling point drops, and when the boiling point drops, it will take more and more heat at a from the air, and it will itself become superheated. Now when this degree of if this one gets superheated, and if this superheat is too high, then the refrigerant inside this bulb will expand and it will exert more pressure above the diaphragm, and since it is very high, the setting of the spring adjuster, this is for setting the degree of superheat, which is 5 degrees C. 5 degrees C of superheat is being maintained through this by adjusting this spring adjuster. Now this will press against the spring, and valve will remain open, and more refrigerant will flow through the evaporator coil. And as more and more refrigerant is flowing through the evaporator coil, so again because of the large quantity, there will be saturation pressure will drop, but the temperature of the refrigerant, it will not be high, as more and more amount of refrigerant is flowing. Now this time, as saturation temperature is the temperature of the refrigerant is low, this time P bulb will be less than the spring pressure, so because of that it will shut. So what we are seeing is that here it keeps on hunting. A kind of hunting is we are observing here. So we don't want this kind of hunting, so we need to have a external equalizing line. Just see friend, here we are having an external equalizing line at the outlet after the bulb. So what we are getting here is the saturation pressure PS4. The saturation pressure here is actually being fed beneath the diaphragm. Now two forces will be acting. This saturation pressure 4 at the outlet, and the spring pressure, this spring pressure, which is for the degree of superheat of 5 degrees C. Now if the degree of superheat is more, it will exert more pressure, it will try to open it, but it will get balanced because of the saturation pressure of the superheated vapor. So that is why we are implementing this external equalizing line in this thermostatic expansion valve. It will again control the flow rate of the refrigerant through the expansion valve. So we are actually controlling the flow of the refrigerant. So it is actually preventing it from opening too much and closing too much.